Great scholars, let us consider the pie chart today. The pie chart. The pie chart is a circular chart divided into sectors. A pie chart is a circular chart divided into sectors. These are all sectors. You can see that. That is in a sector. I said a pie chart is a circular chart divided into sectors whose angles are proportional to the magnitudes of their corresponding constituents of the total we wish to display on the board there. So each of the angle here corresponds to the exact amount of what we desire to display on the board. But this is a chart. We also use this chart to represent statistical information or data. So it is a circular chart for which each of the sector represents a particular information or a particular data that is given. Let us go. We are going to consider a particular table here right now and present a table in a pie chart form. Application of the pie chart. Let us look at the table. How to apply the pie chart. Look at these items. Amount in Naira. You have rent, 60 Naira. Food, 80 Naira. Transport, 20 Naira. Clothes, 40 Naira. And savings, 100 Naira. If you look at that, you know that the total of 300 Naira was spent on all these items that we have on the board. Now, to represent this information in a pie chart, the first thing you do, you need to change this number that in Naira, each of these items to angle or express them in degree. Express them in degree. You should recall that angle at the point is 360 degrees. Total angle at the point is 360 degrees. You must have been taught that in your mathematics class in geometry. Sum of angles on straight line is 180. Sum of angle in a triangle is 180. Sum of angle at a point is 360 degrees. And this is a point. A point defines a circle. That is a circular part. So we have 360 degrees. Now I want to change each of this number that we have here to degrees so that we can put this information in the pie chart, because pie chart deals with the measure of rotation. Pie chart is it's a circular or rotational chart. So it has to do with angles, and angles at rotation at the point is 360. So I want to convert all this number that we have here in Naira to represent respective degree. How do we do that? Here is what you do. Calculation. Calculation. We're going to change all to degree. Let's start with the rent. Rent. For rent, we have 60 over the total 300. 300 times 360, which is angle at the point. This 0 will cancel this 0. This will cancel this. And 3 here is 1. 3 here is 2. So we have 2 and 36 up and 1 down. Our answer will be 72 degrees. So for rent is 72 degrees. For food will be 80 all over 300 times 360. This you have 312 times 8. That will give you 1696 degrees. transport will be 20 all over 300 times 360. This will cancel this in that manner. Here is 1, 12. You have 24 degree. Clothes will be 40 all over 300 times 360. This will cancel this. This will cancel this. Here is 12. You have 48 degree. And savings will be 100 all over 300 times 360. This will cancel this. Then you have 120. So our answer is 120 degree. So here are the respective angles that we have there. So you can extend your table and put your angular measurements, angles. For that we have 72 degree. For this we have 96 degree, 24 degree, 48 degree, and 120 degree. So here are the angles you are going to put in the power chart now. And to do that, you need to have your power chart. You need a pair of compasses and a protractor. You need your pair of compass and your protractor to help you get your circular shape and get the right measurement for each of this angle that you have here. But I'm going to make a rough work for you to see. I'm going to have a rough work here for you to see. Assuming this is my circular shape, your pair of compass, use it to ensure you get a better circular shape by putting the pin at the center and making your pencil to go round in that form. That is it. As soon as it's our circular shape, for instance, now you're going to use your protractor to measure each of the angle. Of course, you know that angle on a straight line is 180. That is it. 180. But we don't have any angle that is 180. What we have is 120. So I'm going to reduce it. Here is 90. Here is 90. At that point, we don't have 90, we have 96. So I'm going to extend that point. I'll extend a little bit. So that is my 96. 96. And I have 120. Here's my 120. I have 72. 72 degree. I have 24 and 48. 48 degree. And then 24. 24 degrees. So here is the power chart of this information. So 172 is for rent, remember. 96 is for food, remember. 24 is for transport. 48 is for clothing. And this is for savings. So we have been able to put this information in the power chart. I said the first thing you do is get the angular measurement of each of the frequency or each of the amount given to you. Get the angular measurement. To get the angular measurement, you divide each of the frequency all over the total times 360. And we are using 360 because angle at the point is 360. A circular measure that is complete will give you 360 degrees. So each of the frequency over the total frequency times 360 will give you the angular measurement of each of that frequency you have or that you are studying. If you're done, I say use your pair of compass to draw a circular shape. Use your protractor to measure out each of this angle carefully, starting from the center of the circle, and put the information properly that we have on the board here. Once you're done with that, then you have answered the question. This is all about the power chart. In our next class, I will show us the inverse part of the power chart. The question could come in this form, and they want to find each of the amount. So I will show that to you in the next class. See you, remain studious, and ensure you make your world proud. Thank you.